Hey everybody, Captain B-Nard back here with another Wi-Fi battle. Exciting day today because we have a battle against JustWeavile, fellow PokeTuber. So yeah, we are going to go ahead and jump into that there. He's a little more big time than me, and I haven't really gone up against too many PokeTubers before, so yeah, looking forward to this one. So as you can see, I am using the same team that I used in the last game here, and there you can see his team on the side there. Looks to be pretty strong and pretty cool as well. So just want to make a quick note of that team, of course, and then we want to decide what we want to lead with here. So what do we want to lead with here? That is a good question. I think this could go one of a few different ways here, but I think, you know what? I think we're going to lead with the Machamp in this one, actually. And we will see how that works out. Hopefully, well enough. Alright, so it looks like he is going to lead with the Venusaur. So, that is not terrible, I guess, for me with the Machamp lead. Could be better, could be worse. So yeah, let's see here. Right out of the gate, I think we're actually just going to go ahead and go for a knockoff straight away here. Make the safe play, try to get rid of an item on something and get some damage. He stays in, goes for the sleep powder. Unfortunately, we are no guard, so it does connect guaranteed, which is quite unfortunate. So yeah, we're going to be asleep here, and so nothing we can do. So should have figured that was going to happen, but just kind of is what it is. We don't really have a great switch for that, so I guess we're just going to stay in here and try to wake up. We're just going to click knock off again, and he's just going to go for a Leech Seed, so good old Seed Stall Venusaur is here, of course, and we do wake up, which is nice, and go for the knockoff, so we're going to go ahead and take that thing down by about a third, and we do get rid of the Black Sludge, which is nice, so that is going to limit this thing's ability to heal itself. He does get some HP back with the Leech Seed, though, so we're definitely not going to want to stay in on this matchup at this point. Now, we do have, I think the best option we have at this point is actually to go into the Wheezing, so that's what we're going to do. He's probably going to try to Sleep Powder again, so hopefully he misses. We'll see what happens. So, there it is. And he is going to Sleep Powder again. He does miss this time, which is nice. So now we have a little bit of a decision on our hands here, because we could go ahead and set some hazards up. Looking at his team, Toxic Spike does look kind of useful, actually, so we're actually just going to go ahead and attempt to set a layer of Toxic Spikes on him, as he stays in, outspeeds, goes Sleep Powder again. And unfortunately, he does connect this time, so that is pretty unfortunate, this Venusaur definitely being a thorn in our side here. So we're asleep, nothing we can do. I guess, once again, our best option is probably just to stay in here and try to wake up. So we're just going to click Toxic Spikes again here. And he's actually going to go for the switch this time with us asleep, and he's going to come in with the Rotom Heat. So we are fast asleep, unfortunately, so not much we can do. So yeah, now we have a little bit of a decision on our hands here. We don't really have a great switch into Rotom, unfortunately, because this thing obviously can hit pretty hard. So yeah, I don't know if we really want to stay in and take the attack with Wheezing, but looking at what he has going on, I don't know, that might be the best option, just because we don't really have a great switch. So we're just going to stay in and try to Toxic Spike again, try to wake up here, and he goes for the Overheat straight away, so that sucks. That is going to nearly take us out. We survive in the red. Special attack is lowered, and we do wake up, thankfully, and we are going to be able to get a layer of toxic spikes up here, so that's definitely good news for us, and we are going to get some HP back with the black sludge. So now we have a little bit of a decision to make here. A lot of times these things are choice items, so he could very well be choice locked into overheat. If that's the case, we could definitely save Wheezing for later, although I don't know. Obviously, we don't know for sure if that's the case, but a lot of times these things are choice items, so I think we're actually going to make perhaps a risky prediction here, and we're going to switch the Starmie in, predicting he's going to be choice, but he actually switches out as well, which is interesting, and he's going to switch into the Venusaur to go ahead and soak up the toxic spikes, but that actually works out really well for us as we go ahead and switch directly into the Starmie, so that works out really well for us. So yeah, I don't think he's going to want to stay in on this matchup here, because we could easily take this thing out with a Psychic. But we have a little bit of a choice to make now, because if he does stay in, we don't really have a move that will hit that and everything else that he has. So yeah, I think the best thing we can do is probably just make the obvious play and go for the Psychic, though, all things considered, so that is what we're going to do. And he does stay in, so we go for the Psychic. We are max special attack with a Life Orb, and that is just going to go ahead and get rid of that Venusaur outright, knocking him down to 5, so that is incredible for us. We do take some Life Orb damage there, but a big potential problem out of the way in Venusaur, so we can't spam the Sleep Powder anymore, which is definitely really nice. So, yeah, we will see what he wants to bring in response to that. So it is going to be the Dusknoir. So he's going to come in with that, and he's going to frisk the Life Orb, which obviously he already knew about. So this thing is pretty bulky, so I definitely don't think we're going to be able to one-shot it for sure. So I kind of don't want to stay in on this matchup. But the only question is, what do we want to switch into this thing? And that is a good question. I think the best thing we can do, we have a couple of options here, but I think I think the best option we have is actually going to be the Donphan for this thing. So we're gonna switch to the Donphan here. He's probably gonna try to hit us with a Shadow Sneak, or maybe not, who knows, but we'll see. So we're gonna switch the Donphan in, and he is gonna go for the Shadow Sneak. So Donphan's pretty bulky. That's not gonna do much of anything to us, which is nice. And so now we have an opportunity to make something happen here against this Dusknoir. We could try to set up Stealth Rock. I don't know how useful. It could be useful, or we could knock off. Kind of a tough call, to be honest, but I think the right move here is to knock off. So we're actually just going to go click knock off here, and he actually stays in. We go for the knockoff. That is going to take this thing down by about 2/3 and get rid of his leftovers. So that is great damage there. He's going to go Will-O-Wisp and land that to burn the Donphan. But we do have a contingency for this, and that is we are packing the Lumberry to go ahead and heal our burn instantly. So that worked out pretty well for us, honestly. That is incredible. So now we're in a pretty decent spot. We could, unfortunately, I don't think another knockoff. You know what? Based on that damage, the next knockoff might actually take this thing out. So in case he decides to switch, I think knockoff might actually be the best option. Although we could try to set Stealth Rock again. But I do think knockoff, yeah, based on that earlier damage, I think we're just going to knock off again. We know we outspeed. He's actually going to go for the switch. And what's he going to want to come into? It is going to be the Hitmon top, so he's going to go ahead and get the Intimidate to cut our attack, which is not great, but we are going to go ahead and get the knockoff on this thing, which is not going to do much damage, but it is going to get rid of his leftovers. So Donphan putting in the work here, getting rid of his items, which is nice. So yeah, now we have to decide what we want to bring in on this thing. Obviously we can't stay in on this matchup. I think the best thing we have is probably to go into the wheezing essentially as fodder, because I don't really want to do anything else right now. So yeah, I think that's the play we're going to make, is we're going to switch to the wheezing basically as fodder, and see what he wants to do. So there it is, and he is going to go close combat. So he hits the wheezing, and we actually can survive that from that range. I kind of didn't think we would. This might be a more defensively invested Hitmontop, but yeah, we survive the close combat, which is incredible. He gets the defense drops, and then we get some HP back with the Black Sludge. So you know what? I wasn't anticipating surviving, but I think we're going to actually take this opportunity to go ahead and try to reset our Toxic Spikes now that the Venusaur's gone. And unfortunately, he does, though, outspeed us. I wasn't sure who was going to outspeed who there, so he's just going to close combat again, and we definitely can't take another one of those. So that is going to go ahead and get rid of our wheezing and knock us down to 5. So the only good news about this is we do get a free switch into whatever we want. And I think the right answer in this situation, he does have 2 defense drops now. I think, what do we want to do here? I think the right answer is actually going to be the Machamp, probably. Maybe? Maybe. That's kind of a tough call. You know what? Yeah, I think it's the Machamp. I think the Machamp is the right answer. So we're going to go ahead and switch into the Machamp here. And so, yeah, I don't anticipate him staying in here because he is at -2 defense and special defense, so I really don't think he's going to stay in. He does have switches to the, if we go for the Dynamic Punch, he does have switches for that. So I think we're going to have to make a risk one way or the other here, because if he comes in with the Dusk Noir, that could be really bad news for us, although I think Machamp might actually outspeed Dusk Noir. So I don't think he's going to stay in, though, but if he does, it could be really bad news. So you know what? I think we're going to. I don't think he stays in. I think we're going to Stone Edge because I don't think he stays in here. And indeed, he doesn't stay in. So he goes for the switch, and he's going to come in with the Dusk Noir. So we did get that prediction right. He is going to frisk to find the leftovers, which is fine. We're going to hit him up with a Stone Edge. It's guaranteed to hit thanks to No Guard, and that is going to get rid of that Dusk Noir and drop him to 4. So that is great news for us, as we do get some HP back with the leftovers, so we can pretty safely go for fighting moves now that that thing's out of the way. So that is pretty incredible. So we'll see what he wants to bring in response to that, and it is going to be the Hitmontop once again. So he is going to get the Intimidate to cut our attack, which is not good, obviously. I don't really want to stay in on this matchup just because I don't really want to take unnecessary damage on Machamp at this point. We don't really have a... I mean, we do have a decent switch if he goes for close combat in the Ninjask, but I don't know if I really want to do that just because Ninjask seems pretty useful because it still has the Focus Sash intact. So I think we're actually going to go ahead and switch to the Donphan. I think that's a better idea. So we're going to go ahead and switch to the Donphan here. See what he wants to do. So there it is, and he is just going to click Close Combat. Unfortunately, we don't have a great switch, but the Donphan actually does take that better than I expected. That is going to cut both of his defenses there, which is pretty nice. And yeah, now we're in a pretty decent spot against this thing. I think what we want to do here is we want to take this opportunity to set Stealth Rock up simply because try and limit the switching here, and I don't see him staying in, so we're just going to go Stealth Rock. And he actually does stay in and go for another close combat, so that's kind of unfortunate for us. He does knock us into the yellow and take the defense drops there. Once again, we are going to go for the Stealth Rock to get the entry hazard set up on him, which is nice. But yeah, it doesn't look like we can take another close combat, which kind of sucks. So I think the best thing we can do right now Although he might, since we have the Stealth Rock up, he might actually go for the Rapid Spin. So that's a possibility. So we could Ice Shard to get Chip on the way out, but I think the better move is actually just to go for Earthquake in case he decides to Rapid Spin, because I think we can survive a Rapid Spin if he does that. So he does go for the Rapid Spin. That is going to knock us into the red, but we do survive. He is going to get rid of those Stealth Rocks, and then Donphan's going to go for an Earthquake. We are max attack, and he's at -2 defenses, and that is just going to go ahead and destroy that Hitmontop and knock him down to 3, I believe, which is pretty incredible for us. So we don't get to keep the hazards, but yeah, we do get to get rid of the Hitmontop, so that's good. So yeah, we will see what he wants to bring in response to that. So it is going to be the Crawdaunt, so that is not great for us. So we kind of have another choice to make here. He definitely could try to set up on us, so I don't know. This is going to kind of be a pretty critical decision for us, because he definitely could try to set up on us, and that would be pretty bad. I don't think it's worth switching Donphan either way at this point, but I think the best thing we can do, just in case he decides to set up, I think the best thing we could do is probably just Earthquake. So that's what we're going to do. The Ice Shard chip would be pretty minimal, but no, he's just going to go for the Aqua Jet, and that will definitely finish off the Donphan from that range and knock us down to 4, as he is going to take some Life Orb damage there. So now the question is, what do we want to bring in to face this thing? So this is going to be a difficult choice for us. What do we want to face the Crawdaunt with? So he's got the Crawdaunt, the Steelix, and the Rotom left. So critical decision for us. I think Crawdaunt, Steelix, Rotom. You know what? I think it's time. So it is time to go ahead and, or is it? Is it? You know what? Is it time? Oops, what just happened there? Yeah. Alright, it's time. It is time to go ahead and deploy the Ninjask. So we're going to come in with that, and yeah, we are Focus Sash, so we know we can survive anything he does. I kind of don't think he's going to want to stay in on this matchup. I mean, he could definitely Aqua Jet us, but if he does, I think a U-turn will actually take him out. So we're just going to go for the U-turn here and see what he wants to do. He could switch out, or he could go Aqua Jet, and he does stay in and goes Aqua Jet, and that is going to be enough to, actually not quite enough to knock us to our Focus Sash, as he takes Life Orb recoil damage there. We're going to go for the U-turn, and that is going to be enough to go ahead and get rid of that Crawdaunt, knocking him down to 2. So that is pretty incredible. We do get the pivot. The only negative thing about this is we're going to have to show first between the two of us, and yeah, I don't know what we want to come in with here. So unfortunately, I think the best option we have here, unfortunately, is to probably come in with Magnezone. So that is what we're going to do. Unfortunately, Magnezone does not match up very well against his last 2 Pokemon at all. So that is kind of a problem. But it is what it is. So yeah, now he's going to go ahead and come in with the Steelix. Kind of figured that was going to happen. So now we have a little bit of a decision to make here. I kind of want to save... I don't know if I want to save Magnezone, to be completely honest, because it doesn't do much against his last 2 Pokemon, but then again, the Ninjask doesn't do much against his last 2 Pokemon either, so I think that, what do we want to do here? This is a tough decision, actually. We can't really do much to the Steelix, so he could actually over-predict here and go for something else. So, but you know what? I think it's too risky. I think we're going to switch. We're going to make the safe play, and we're just going to go back into Ninjask basically as fodder here. We really can't do much with the Magnezone against this thing, but we can do more to the Rotom, I think. So anyway, we're going to come in with the Ninjask here, and he is going to Earthquake, so we do actually get the free switch, which is nice. So yeah, I think unfortunately, we can't really do anything to this thing with the Ninjask either, so yeah, we really just need a clean switch into... we need a clean switch is what we need into something. So I think we're going to let Ninjask go down here, I think is the play. We're just going to go ahead and click Night Slash to try and get as much damage as possible on this thing on the way out. So we are going to hit him up with the Night Slash. It does do some chip damage to the Steelix, not much. He actually goes Earthquake again, anticipating that we mind game him, and we stay in, so that does nothing. So that is pretty nice, actually. So we get a speed boost off, and you know what? I'm kind of content to keep playing these mind games as we chip the Steelix down. So you know what? Let's go for a U-turn. Why not? And we know we're going to outspeed, so we're just going to go ahead and nail him with a U-turn. It's going to do not much damage at all, of course, but we are going to get the pivot. And what are we going to go into? Can we mind game him even farther? Why not? Let's try. So we're going to go back into the Magnezone, actually. So we're going to continue the mind game with less than a minute left on the clock, unfortunately. He actually goes Iron Tail. So that's not going to do too much damage to the Magnezone there, and yeah, that's not bad. So I think with only seconds left on the clock, I think the mind games are over, so we're going to try and finish up. We're just actually going to stay in here and go Flash Cannon on him to try and get as much damage as possible on the way out. So there's the Flash Cannon. We're Choice Specs, and it actually does a good amount of damage, knocking him into the yellow as he does go for the Earthquake. And of course we cannot survive that, so the Magnezone's going to go down, but we did get the chip, which is nice. That is going to knock us down to 3. He is going to take some Life Orb damage. There's only seconds left on the clock. We're going to come in with Starmie. Are we going to get one more turn here or not? Probably not. Starmie comes in. 1 second left on the clock. Can we click Scald fast enough? No, we can't, so that is game. Timer is up, but we actually are going to get a 3-2 victory there over JustWeavile, but that is pretty incredible, actually. I do believe that we probably would have had that game even without the timer, just because the Pokemon he had left, the Steelix and the Rotom, were both weak to Starmie. But unfortunately, we'll never know because the timer is a problem, and I've been saying it for a very long time. But yeah, hopefully we get something more than a 20-minute timer here on or next on Scarlet and Violet. But that was a pretty exhilarating battle nonetheless. Really happy to take the victory. And yeah, just an all-around good one. So that's it. Thanks for watching again, everybody. Hope you all enjoyed. Please hit that like button, leave a comment, and or subscribe if you did enjoy, and stay tuned for more new battles in the future. So that's it, and we'll see you next time.